All right, guys, thanks for coming to our team call tonight. I'm really excited about this content creation masterclass. This is information that I'm taking from the Legacy Leadership Academy, and it is a lot. So get ready to take notes. I'm also going to be recording this, so if you can't take notes right now, that's totally fine. But it is set up for you to take notes while we're going because it's good stuff. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. Where are we? Here we are. All right. So, have you ever felt while doing your social media overwhelmed by all the content that you need to create, uncertain of really what the good content is, stressed because you're running out of ideas for your content, and like you're wasting your time on social media, not really getting your message across? A lot of us have struggled with this. So in this training, we're going to talk about how to find a good system for finding, creating, organizing, and publishing content marketing. So first of all, what is content marketing? Content marketing is sharing interesting information your prospects are passionate about, so they'll actually pay attention to you. So when you do it well and you create good content, it helps you do the following things. It helps you stand out and grab the attention of your audience. It sells you to your audience, not your company or your product. And it creates curiosity about what you're doing. So this is the term where attraction marketing comes from. It creates curiosity, so people are drawn to you, to your person, and it creates trust. So because it positions you as an authority on whatever topic that you're sharing or whatever you're sharing on your social media. So there are 6 characteristics of epic content marketing. The first one you've heard before, and that is that it educates, entertains, and empowers. So it's a mix of all 3. We have to approach our content from a context of providing a variety. So sometimes it needs to be fun, and sometimes it needs to be serious. The second is consistency. It's where most people go wrong and post too little and give up too soon. So again, it's like that pumping the well. You know, at first you're going to share bits of your story. Well, you've got to do it consistently for a long time in order to build that connection. One of the things that I love to go back to is from the like switch, that the 3 things that the guy says that you have to have in order to build connection and trust is you have to have, in a relationship, you have to have proximity. So you need to be close to them or be around. You have to have intensity, so be around. So make sure that you're giving, like that's like the educate, entertain, empower. In duration, you got to be around for a long time. So this doesn't happen overnight. Thirdly is authenticity and vulnerability, which we talk about this a lot on our team. But you have to have the courage to be your true self and to put yourself out there. So you have to risk someone not liking what you're saying or not wanting to listen to you, and you're going to attract someone who wants your message. So one of the things that I love, and this is the first time I ever heard Bob Heilig, and it was on a Chalene Johnson podcast, and he said, the more that we repel the people who are not like us, the more we will attract the people who are. And that statement spoke volumes to me because I have battled so much of my life. I battled with my self-esteem. So the idea of putting myself out there scared the heck out of me. And I can't read the chat because in presentation mode, it doesn't let me look at it. So if it's important, unmute yourself and interject, Angie Bradley. So seriously, feel free to interject if you have something you want to share or say. But really, honestly, I think that's what a lot of us, I've spoken to a lot of people on this team. It's one of our big fears is we open our hearts up to let people see inside and someone's going to go like that. And that hurts. So I think, and all of us have had that happen. But anyway, it's realized, and yeah, we'll get into all that stuff another time. So anyway, the other thing is it has to have a point of view or perspective. So this is what makes you you. You know, it's fine to share something controversial. You might want to stay away from the hot topics like religion and politics, but don't be afraid to have an opinion on subject. So when he says religion and politics, this is what Bob Heilig was saying. I think he's talking about, you know, stuff. I can't think of a specific example in religion right now, but politics, vaccinations, whether you vaccinate or not, you know, being things like that. Just know who you are and what you stand for. And if there's something, like for me, I will talk about my faith, because my faith is who I am. My faith makes who I am. So I cannot I can't share myself without sharing that. So in that case, and you know, it depends on what is your view and your perspective. Again, it goes back to, don't be afraid to let people see who you truly are. And it can't be an infomercial, so don't let it be overly salesy or promotional. You definitely don't want to be, you know, sitting there giving like the 5 things you love about hydrate and why you need to buy it right now and put your link in there, you know. So you don't want to have it to be an infomercial. It's really all about adding value to others. So if you always lead with adding value and sharing things that can help people lead a better life, you're going to win. You're going to win and draw people to you.
So Michelle, did he talk about how where the line is with, like, for the educate portion where it says you want to either like educate or inform or just make fun? Did he say like where the line is of like how much you want your post to be educational versus too much is, you know, like acting like you're the expert kind of thing?
We're going to get into that. Yes.
Okay.
It's a very good question. Very good question. Like, this is such a great class. I'm so excited about it. I've learned so much from this, and I'm very excited. So first of all, we talk about the difference between marketing and prospecting. And this is so important. Okay, guys. Marketing is lead generation. Okay. Again, it's attraction. It creates opportunities for you to work. It creates the opportunities for you to work your business. So it's a process of getting your name out there, creating your personal brand, and attracting people to you. So sometimes you attract, the whole purpose is to attract people to you, oftentimes before they even know anything about the fact that you got a company or product, that you're working with Beachbody or whatever, right? You're drawing people to you. You are the brand. The prospecting, so that's more passive. Prospecting is activities that create income, so, and build a team. So it's the actively doing your reach outs, it's follow-ups, it's training new team members, enrolling customers, letting people know about your business and your products. And a lot of that happens behind the scenes. So social media, just so you know, social media is marketing. And marketing, this is very important, does not qualify as actually working your business. Okay? Marketing is passive. It's a pull. It's that attracting people. Yep.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Social media is marketing, and marketing does not qualify as actually working your business. I need that. We need that branded. I'm like, that was like one of those like, what? What did you say?
It's like a mic drop moment.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, marketing, it's that attraction, it's that pull. So you're doing something, hoping that someone will take an action, maybe from a video or a post. And it takes time to leverage that. And you have to have the long game in mind. Again, you're looking at the pumping the well. Social media and marketing, that is just putting yourself out there. But prospecting is active. So you have to think of marketing as watering the seeds, but prospecting is actually planting the seeds. So we initiate, it's a push. We initiate the connection. So someone reaches out, someone says something on our social media, and we reach out, we message, we comment, we call, we text. It's actually working our business. So reaching out again, following up, training new team members, product sales, all of that is actually prospecting. And for those of you who were in the thing that we did with Greg's team recently, you do have the prospecting book. And I highly encourage you to read it. I'm so excited because the same guy just came out with a book on objections. And we just got that in the mail, and I can't wait to read it. But anyway, a great analogy to think of when determining marketing versus prospecting activities. Again, it's like planting the seeds and then watering them. Prospecting and working the business is planting the seeds. So that's actually getting it out there. And marketing is watering the seeds. So if you prospect and plant seeds with no marketing, you're not watering them. So in 6 months, when you reach out to them again, they haven't thought of you since the last time you reached out. So basically you reach out and say, hey, I've got a free challenge. Would you like to join? If you're not consistently sharing your life or adding value or entertaining, the next time you reach out to them, they haven't heard from you or seen you in that long. But if you're constantly posting and we're in front of people, then in the back of their mind, they've seen us and we've stayed somewhat connected. Does that make sense? So
The hard part for that is we don't actually know how much they see unless we're talking to them. But we have no idea like how many posts or how much stuff they actually see of our stuff. And so it's almost like you need to over post to make sure that we get seen.
no, that's the prospecting part though. Remember, the prospecting is the back end stuff. That's the forming, the commenting, the liking, and then you will show up and they will see your things. They will see you.
Oh, okay.
But you can't just post and put a live video out there or put a photo or put a post out there and just hope people are going to find you, because you're watering something that hasn't been planted. See what I'm saying? So it's constantly planting those seeds.
It's the part where you plant the seeds, like you start the prospecting and then you post for the marketing and to keep us in their like hemisphere.
Yeah,
I don't actually know how much stuff they see, even if I'm commenting on their things, and even if any of that stuff, like I have no idea if they ever see any of my things, and that's very challenging because I have no idea.
But if you're following the process, I mean, you're right. There's no way to know exactly, but if we're following the process and especially with people we're forming with and cultivating that relationship with, then, and I get his analogy of planting is, prospecting is planting and watering and marketing is watering. But honestly, I like to think of prospecting as cultivating, because there's planting, there's taking care of the dirt. It's more than just planting a seed, because you plant the seed originally and then you keep working with that plant. You know what I mean? And so there would be a little bit of I can see where there'd be like a little of a misconnection there, but but the important thing that he's trying to make is that marketing and prospecting together give great results, but 80% of our time should be actively prospecting and working the business. So, and that's his point, is that marketing is basically saying, here I am, how are you, this is my life, but prospecting is making that actual connection. And that is what's going to help your business to grow. So if you're just starting out in your business and you're struggling with building your business, you need to make sure that 70 to 80% of your time is in prospecting. So that's like presenting, following up, enrolling, training, all of that stuff. Most of people will sit there and spend a lot of time, I've been so guilty of this, designing quotes in, Canva or Word Swag or whatever. The posts look great, but the point is the business won't grow if we're not spending the right amount of time on the right activities. So again, 80% of the time needs to be, this is why the importance of content marketing will help you plan this stuff ahead of time. So, yeah. So some content marketing myths are that you have to be an expert or you have to be successful. You have to be creative. So you can never have an original thought and still have, so you could basically never have a original thought and you can still have a successful content marketing plan. You don't have to be creative. Some people think you need to have some sort of qualification or certification, or you must be super technical with a bit of, to be able to do stuff. But honestly, with patience and the right mindset, you can really figure it out. So the reason why most people aren't taking action is because when it comes to creating content, people feel paralyzed and don't move forward for two reasons. One is the curse of knowledge, and two is the imposter syndrome. So, okay. So the curse of knowledge states that we take for granted that we know what we know and what we've learned. So we think no one is interested in this, and everyone probably already knows this anyway. However, one, yes, they do care, and number two, they don't already know it. So when we look back over videos, if you look back over your videos and see, you maybe even think a topic's really not even that great, but you might have a lot of comments on it. You know, people are interested. So one of the things he says is that videos like the last 5 books I read and what I ate for breakfast have actually been wildly popular videos, live videos. So they just have to learn. You have to learn to share things you know, even if you think people already know or don't care. And that's hard when, you know, you're worried about. This is why it's important to read books like The Power of Vulnerability and not care what people think, or Braving the Wilderness. You know, if you struggle with putting yourself out there, I recommend those books. So the second one is the imposter syndrome, and that is where we question if we're good enough, if we have what it takes, if people will watch the video and talk behind our back saying things like, who's she to think that she can talk about this or that without any credibility whatsoever, And I mean, I don't know about you, but I know I've seen people before do a video and be like, I know them, they're not perfect, blah, 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 blah. And I have to stop myself, like, stop judging Michelle, you know? So, because the thing is most people, it's true. Like, it doesn't matter what people think, because there's going to be a whole bunch of people out there who need to hear what you have to say. You know, you're honestly, when we worry too much about what people think when we're going to share something, it's just creating an irrational fear that's keeping us and holding us back as an excuse not to move forward. Who is texting and commenting? Because Angie's laughing. Oh, she's like, no, don't. I'm laughing at someone else. Okay. I'm laughing at you.
What was the name of the book you said, Michelle?
The Power of Vulnerability by Brene Brown and Braving the Wilderness by Brene Brown. So Braving the Wilderness is basically about not being afraid to be you. And The Power of Vulnerability is about, you know, power of being vulnerable. So yeah, there's I love her books. They're like my favorite. So basically he says this and he emphasizes this, and I absolutely agree. You have to stop telling yourself the lie that you're not good enough. You are good enough, and it's time to move forward. You know, and this brings me back to I don't know if any of you saw the movie, the documentary this past week with, I know that Danielle was there with the girl from Girl Wash Your Face. What was it called? Oh my gosh.
It was called Made for More.
Thank you. Made for More. But one of the biggest things that I took away from that is, and this is from someone who I have off and on and still sometimes struggle with self-image, you know, and little things that too many wrinkles or whatever, you know, like, and have to constantly battle that, because those are the voices and we just have to battle that. But one of the things that she said is they did this activity where without getting into too much detail, where they have all this list of check marks, and you check off all the things that have happened to you in your life, or all the things that you believe about yourself. And they could be things like losing a child, having been abused as a kid, like, and then they fold it up and they pass it around till nobody knows whose is who, and then you stand up for your sister. So the person who ends up with a sheet of paper, you stand up if something's checked. So it kind of gives you an idea of the percentage of the women in the room who have been through things. And the one that really hit me was, she asked the question on there was, I hate the way I look. And she said almost every single woman out of 700 women stood up. I hate the way I look. And, you know, I have to believe this with this lie right here, that you have to stop telling yourself that you're not good enough. I bet if you were to ask, and it was a check mark that would say, I believe that I'm not good enough, or I feel like I'm never enough, I would bet you'd probably get the same amount of women standing up. So that fear that we have, that we're not good enough, we have to realize that almost every other woman probably feels the exact same way. And it's time to stop believing that and to move forward. And that struggle that we move forward, that's part of the adversity of breaking through boundaries and getting and moving to the next level of where we want to be in life. So I just had to go off on a tangent there. So this is where it gets super, super duper cool. The steps to creating great content. There are, I believe, 8 steps to creating great content. Yes, 8 steps. Number 1, determine your storylines. So, sorry. People are constant, will often wonder, what am I supposed to talk about during a live video? And I've been caught up in this too. I've got to figure out what my brand is before I start. What's my personal brand? The biggest tip he has here is your personal brand is you. You don't need to figure yourself out. Just begin paying attention to what makes you, you. And these things will make up your 3 storylines. What makes you, you? The concept of the 3 storylines is that you identify 3 themes in your life that you love to share and talk about, and you base your content around those 3 things. And one of them does not even have to be your business. And we get into that in a little bit too. So this is just the 3 things that you're passionate about that make you, you. It doesn't have to be what you think you're supposed to be writing about, but what are the 3 themes in your life that you love to share and talk about? So, to identify your 3 storylines, ask yourself the following questions. What are the things that are most important to you in your life? What are the things that you find interesting and fascinating that you love to learn about? What are the things that you are most passionate about when talking to others? Hobbies? Your family? Are there any areas that you know you can help or add value to others? Things that you know really well. Anything that you can share. Your 3 storylines don't even have to be connected or related. They just have to have meaning to you. They don't have to tie directly to your business or products at all. They can, for example, if you're in the skincare industry, one of your storylines can be about beauty, but it doesn't have to be about beauty. You don't want your story to be forced. And that's why you want to choose things you're passionate about, because you don't want to have to sit there and think, oh, what should I post about this today? If you're passionate about things and they are who you are, then that's not going to be an issue. The whole point of the storylines are to create points of commonality with your audience. So the more you share of yourself, the more opportunity you have to connect with your followers. And the more they connect with you, the more they know, love, and trust you. So a great example, I can think of this right off the bat, is just in the past few months, I know Angie just started talking more about homeschooling. You know what? That's a huge part of Angie's life and something she's passionate about. So it makes a lot of sense that you notice every time she talks about homeschooling, people are commenting on it. So homeschooling is one of your 3 storylines. I can tell you that right now. I could probably add a second one, probably be running and fitness for sure, because you love the runnings. But just think about these things that you're passionate about. So, the more you share, So you have to remember again, it's what are the things that are like, love me or leave me. Like you're just like, this is who I am. Let your inner weirdo out. Put yourself out there so that you can build that trust. I mean, really honestly, when people see you being yourself, unapologetically yourself, they connect to that. Think about maybe the people on YouTube or you've seen put themselves out there on some of the singing competitions and they sing really weird or off, but you connect to them. You think they're funny and they're happy being who they are. You know what I mean? Because when people are confident in who they are, then when we connect to that, we will be drawn in even to a deeper relationship and level of trust. And we have to remember, again, we're not worried about drawing people into a deeper level of relationship and trust that don't connect with us. I don't care to have people on my team who have a completely negative attitude, always negative, always trying to tear people down. Like, I don't want to attract people like that to me. Right? So we have to think, I'm just using that as an example because I think that's something that pretty much almost all of us can connect with and relate with. But think about that. If there's something that we absolutely are not a part of who we are, Why would we try to feel like we have to cater to other people? Okay, so this is again, it's the big thing. The more that we are unapologetically ourselves, the more we're going to build that trust and build strong relationships, which will lead to customers. So when we're having all these conversations in the back end, people are going to feel like they know who we are and they're going to trust us. So when they want to be fit and healthy, and we've had these conversations, whether or not we're talking a ton about fitness and clean eating and cooking, they're going to relate to us, and because people buy from people. So super, super important. So again, your storylines not have to directly tie in with your products or business. You have to decide what your 3 storylines are going to be. So when thinking about your perfect prospect or customer, oh my God, oh, here I am. I'm like, where am I? I'm lost. So your avatar, so the next thing is creating your customer avatar. The next within this step, okay, this is not another step, but it's creating your customer avatar. We've talked about this before on some of our team calls, but I really like the way that this is put forward. So your customer avatar is, again, it's your perfect prospect or customer who's out there just kind of waiting for you, the kind of person that you're wishing that someday is going to join you. So these are the people that we're hoping are going to see our live video or one of our posts and want to connect with us immediately because they are, again, like us. So when thinking about your perfect prospect or customer, we need to think about the following things. Number 1, what would the perfect prospect look like for you? Have to be specific. Are they male or female? What do they look like? What is their hair like? Are they fit? Are they overweight? What's their job, their occupation, their age? Do they have kids? Do they stay at home? Guys, even as Beachbody coaches, we can have an avatar who is a super fit mom, or we can have an avatar who is a mom who's struggling with her weight postpartum. It doesn't matter. It's who is the person that you want to draw into your business, that you want to connect. What problems does this person have in their life? What keeps them up at night? Make sure you write down examples. How are these problems or issues making them feel? What content would they need in order to help solve the problems? And it doesn't say how do your products, how does Beachbody solve their problems? It's what content will add value and trust before we'd even consider sharing the products with them. But what content can we share that they'll connect with, that will help them in whatever area they are in life? One thoughts that come to mind right now is if you have a mom who's postpartum and struggling, first of all, free tips on how to start taking control before you can even start exercising without having to be perfect. What are 3 easy things you can do? Or 5-minute quick makeup tips that'll make you look refreshed and leave you feeling better. If you're waking up after no sleep at night. But it can be about makeup, it can be about anything that's going to help them in that pain point in their life. And then what content, so focusing on building trust by adding value. So as you complete your customer avatar, you might just discover that the person you're describing is either a lot like you or someone that you're really close to. So you're going to want to create a customer avatar for each of your 3 storylines. And again, guys, this is not like what we've talked about before, where it's like a custom avatar for a coach, for a challenger, no, we're talking about a customer avatar for homeschooling, a customer avatar for fitness, a customer avatar for faith, or whatever your 3 storylines are. Who is that perfect prospect for you that fits within each of those stories? You also might discover that your customer avatar is just like someone a family member or one of your team members. Again, it doesn't have to be you. And then finally, give your customer avatar a name and find an image. And we've done this before on team calls, and I would not be against doing it again on the team page, but to find an image that really shows what they're like, and have that image next to where you're posting. Have it as a background on your phone. have it where you're going to see it. So when you're making a post and you're trying to create, or you're creating content, you are speaking to her or him, depending on what your avatar is and what you're looking for. So you really want to be connected to their emotions and feelings so you can imagine like you're speaking to them, especially if you go live. That's really helpful and something we're going to talk about again. So the next thing is to actually start creating your content. So there are two ways to create content. And this is, Danielle, this will answer some of the questions that you had earlier. But one is to take the expert approach where you're positioning yourself as an expert. And some people can be really successful at this, but most of us will actually do the second approach, which is the take the journey with me approach. It's the anti-expert approach. You tell people what you're learning, it's more relatable, and it duplicates down easier, you know. So people in our downline or people that we sign up won't have to feel like they have to be the expert, because we're not the expert. We're learning and growing and sharing our story. So, and a lot of people will resist doing live videos and sharing stuff because they feel like, I don't know enough. Again, I'm not perfect. I don't know this. I'm not really great at it. But again, if we have that belief and that knowledge that we don't have to have all the answers, it will make a huge difference. So really what we start doing is doing something called learning out loud. Anything we find interesting, helpful, or inspiring inside the 3 storylines should be shared. So anything, the way that he puts it, and I love this, is he says, you know what, if you start noticing that you're taking notes or writing something down or highlighting or saving something, that is the kind of stuff that you need to be sharing. So like for me, for instance, I'll find that I love watching videos on fashion because I like to know what's in and what's out for 2018. So before I go buy jeans, I want to know that I'm not wearing the mom jeans of 5 years ago. So I'll do a YouTube search, you know. So basically, though, if you think it's important enough to write down in a notebook, it's important enough to share with someone else. So that will help you realize what you're passionate about. So other sources of content. These are some sources of learning out loud. So, there we go. Sources of content. Videos, watching other videos, other Facebook Lives. You can get content from that. Podcasts, books that we're reading, Facebook groups that we're in. What posts and Facebook groups we're in have the most content and questions? Guys, that is a signal right there that people want to learn more about something. So if you're in a Facebook group and people are constantly out, or you see a post that's getting a lot of traction, that might be a great one to do a video about. I mean, I can think right now, you know, I know Amanda, you like the creative memories, not creative memories, wrong one. The planner, the happy planner. You know, if you see a post and it's getting a lot of traction, that would be something that you could do a live video on or that you can share on. You know what I mean? Angie, there's tons of homeschooling groups where people are always asking questions. Give them the answers in a Facebook Live. Other experts on social media, we can get information from them. Other expert blogs and social that we can follow and sign up to get blog posts or follow other experts and see what they're posting about, what they're doing. Darren Hardy. I love to follow a guy named Donald Miller with the Story Brand. His stuff is amazing. Other coaching calls with your team, things you talk with your team on for coaching calls. You bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be using some of this stuff. I love content marketing. I love this kind of stuff. So to be able to start sharing about it. Interactions with families and friends. What kind of things are they talking about, asking about? What conversations are you having? Pinterest, quotes, magazine covers. Oh my gosh, going to the store and looking at the magazine covers. These are some of the top content writers ever are hired for some of these magazines. So go start looking through some magazines and look at what the titles that they're using to draw people in. What are the titles of the articles? Write them down if you connect with them and use them in your posts. These people are paid a lot of money. Might as well, you know, use some of their expertise. You know, the same with magazine articles. What are they writing about? What do people want to hear? These people are paid to know what people want to hear. So if we connect with that, it's a great way to repurpose it. one of the things is going to the Amazon's bestseller list and looking at the books, looking at some of the top things that they're talking about, the top selling books. What are they talking about? Looking for information on that, sharing about that. If you go to YouTube and you do a search on YouTube, it's actually really cool. Like if you were to type in beauty, it would show the most popular searches that have to do with beauty. So if you wanted to look up homeschool, you could see all the most popular searches for homeschool, and you'll know what people want to know. I mean, that right there will tell you what people want to know. Look up Happy Planner. Look up, rocket science, Danielle, like whatever it is that you are. I'm sure there's I think the fact that you do rocket science is pretty darn cool. What are some things that you could share about what you do that people would be interested in and want to learn, that would show, what you do, like figuring out these things that you're passionate about. But Google searches are the same thing. Type something into Google and see what pops up. Look at what they have as suggested searches. Sometimes it can be pretty interesting. But the thing to know is that content is everywhere. So adding value, entertaining, inspiring, all of that stuff, the content's everywhere. We just have to be purposeful in looking for it and planning. So start raising awareness for the content that's around you every day, and look at what's happening in your life and ask, does this fit into one of my 3 storylines? Would my perfect prospect be educated, entertained, or inspired by this? Looking through the magazines or whatever, would this person be inspired by this? And then as you start getting ideas, keep a list. Whether you do something, like I have a list making app called Todoist I love to use, but you can use Evernote, Wunderlist, like whatever you use on your phone to start creating a list of content. Just when you see stuff, start making that content so that when it's time to start doing things, you have it there and all you have to do is pick and choose. So this is actually really, really cool. So you only have 3 storylines, right? Let's say one is working out and fitness. And you could sit here and think, well, how am I going to be talking this week all about working out and fitness and come up with fresh things to say, right? You don't always want to be posting the exact same thing. You want to broaden your storyline. You want to draw people in. So a way that you can do this is to create content circles. And you want to do this for every one of your storylines. So for instance, working out and fitness, you could mean that you do a video on nutrition and eating. You do a video on supplements. You have to have a good mindset to stick with working out and fitness. And maybe you do a video on mindset or fashion and beauty. That could also be connected. That's something you're passionate about. That also could be connected. So your 3 storylines doesn't mean that it has to be, I worked out today. I worked out today. You should work out, and here are 3 reasons you need to work out. But it's taking each of those storylines and building around them so that when you do post, you actually have relatable content in areas that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about working out and fitness, you're probably passionate about other things that connect with that. So, again, I'm going to use you as an example, Angie. Again, sorry about that. But running would be one of those, because you absolutely love running. You could have one be nutrition and eating and cooking for a big family. But you find things that you would connect with, same, Amanda, the same for you, and Danielle, find areas that intersect to your storyline and start building your content based on that. So it's kind of like before we talk about the 5 pillars. Well, this time we're just paring it down to 3 different main topics, and then we're branching out from there. So the 4th step to creating great content, the 4th thing to creating great content is live video. And we have talked about this before. If you really want to improve other people's lives and make an impact, then, it's really time to get over yourself and stop creating these red lights in your mind that say, I can't do this, I have nothing to share. Whatever it is that's stopping you, and start embracing live video. So if you want to improve others' lives and make an impact, start embracing live video. And I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So there's no quicker way to make a connection and create impact than live video. And guys, I mean, this comes down to psychology. And I talked about this in the social media starter class that we've done for new coaches and stuff. But honestly, it comes down to the fact that in order to, the way we're created, in order to build trust, we have to be able to tell whether someone is trustworthy or not. You know, and that's why selfies are so important, because it's about connecting with a person and seeing, can we trust this person? Because back in the days of the caveman, you know, they had to be able to tell within an instant, whether from afar, whether someone was part of their tribe or not, you know, in order to be safe. You know, so in this day and age, what live video does is it takes down all the boundaries and it lets people see you as you are. And again, that is the quickest way to building trust and connection, because they see all the micro expressions on your face. If you smile, they see the light shining from your eyes and they connect with it. If you get on and you say, you know, I am so stinking nervous and I did not want to do a live video and I hate being on here, but I had to share these things with you, you know, leading with your fears. I'm telling you though, live video will create connection so much faster than anything else. And in today's world where everyone's being flooded with content, it's one of the best ways to stand out. So here's some live video tips. Number 1, pretend like you're talking directly to your customer avatar. Have a picture of her taped to your phone. Talk to her when you're doing the live. Like seriously, imagine her in your mind. Talk twice as much about your failures as you do your successes. People will not buy your success until they bought into your failures. Failure does not make you look weak. Failure makes you look stronger. I want you to write that down. Failure does not make you look weak. It makes you look stronger. Focus on the lessons you've learned along the way and on the person you've become in the process. Remember, your videos are not for you. They're for the person who's watching. They're for your perfect avatar. Finally, be sure to say the word you twice as much as the word I. And the last tip I have here is the easiest way to feel comfortable on camera is to start telling stories. Once you share your experiences, you're never more yourself when you're telling your story. When you're telling a story, people connect to us through our stories, and this is how they really get to know us. I love to think about going back to the Bible. Jesus always spoke in parables. He always spoke in stories because people relate to that. They can understand a story. So speak in parables. Tell your stories, and it'll help you to be more comfortable. So for the number 6 is preparing your content. Pick a topic using your 3 storylines and content circles. Jot down 3 to 5 bullet points that you want to cover. This is for your live video, okay? Jot down 3 to 5 bullet points that you want to cover. But do not, and I repeat, do not script out the entire video. Come up with a story or experience of yours related to the topic, so you have your story, and do additional research if you need to prepare for a video. So Google it. You don't have to be the expert. You know what you want to talk about. Get your 3 to 5 points. Do a little Googling to get a little extra information to prepare. So the format of your live video. And this is where we're really going to start getting more and more technical on the content. So the first one is give an introduction and grab attention right from the bat. State the reason why you're doing the video with energy and enthusiasm. You only have, I put 5 seconds, that's a lie. You have 3 seconds to grab their attention. Some people will get on the video and they're just like, hey, hi, we're going to wait for so-and-so to get on. We're going to wait. No, you do your introduction and you grab attention. Hey, Michelle here. I'm going to share my top 5 tips for keeping the weight off after having a baby. And again, think about those magazine articles and the titles that are used for magazine articles. Think about blogs. What blogs, like start paying attention to what grabs. It's like when we talk about scrolling Facebook, what are the scroll stoppers? What are the blogs that grab your attention? Start writing down the titles. For me, I know it's almost always the 5 things you need to know in order to not look like you have a mom butt, you know, whatever. Sorry, that just came to mind. It was the first thing that came to mind. I'm sorry, but you know, but really in all honesty though, have a catchy title and grab the attention. And then ask a relatable question. You know, today I'm going to talk about having a positive mindset. Have you ever struggled with negativity or feeling discouraged? If so, you need to hang around. So having a question. And then welcome, after that, you can welcome a few of your live videos if you want to, but you don't have to. Then share your first main point of content and relatable story. Again, having that story, then deliver the remaining content and include a call to action at the end of the video. So you want to encourage them to do something. Let them know what, you know, let me know what your favorite, you know, if you're like doing hair or whatever, let me know what your favorite shampoo is in the comments. You know, let me know what your favorite curriculum is for homeschool. Let me know what your favorite Happy Planner inserts are. I mean, let me know what your favorite rocket scientist is, you know, or what your favorite rocket scientist song is. I mean, I just know Shania Twain mentions it, and, you know, I know Angie's going like this. I'm totally just saying that stuff to see your reaction because y'all's reaction is so funny. I just can't see Danielle's after that rocket science contest, the comment. So I'm bummed about that. No, but seriously, encourage them to do something. If you found some value, you know, tag someone in the comments who can really benefit from this, you know, or share it. And not making it sound salesy or pushy, like share this video, but like, hey, if you found some value in this, you know, feel free to share it, you know, but encouraging them to do some sort of call to action. And then when you do ask a question, a relatable question, ask a question that you know that you know the answer to, you know, that is obviously going to be answering in the post. So, live video recommendations. Wait a second. Okay. Hold on a second. Here we are. Sorry, I lost my place in my notes. You should see my handwriting, man. It's not real readable. So first of all, keep it to 3 to 10 minutes. Don't stress about the length, but try to keep it 3 to 10 minutes. He recommends doing 1 to 3 live videos a week. Never do less than 1, but no more than 3 are needed. And he emphasizes that. Less videos, but higher quality videos. It's what you do after the video that matters the most. It's all about the hustle between the videos. Again, going back to the prospecting, you know, planting the seeds, actually talking to people. And this is what waters those seeds, okay? So, now, live video content multiplier formula. If you are serious about sharing a message, if you are serious about really streamlining your content, this is where it gets super serious. So I just want to give you that heads up. Like this stuff may not be for everyone if you're just starting out and you're not ready to take that step, but this is good information. So the live video content multiplier formula basically takes one live video that you create and turns it into an entire week's worth of content. One 3 to 5 minute video can absolutely become up to 35 posts for all of your social media. This formula is based on the concept called repurposing. So you take one good video and you turn it into a dozen other social media posts. So you repurpose it. As you grow, you eventually want to get a virtual assistant to do everything for you. Once you do the live video, a virtual assistant could turn it into all those posts and post it for you. So that's goals, guys, goals. So what to post and when. Create at least one Facebook Live each week on your profile and in any groups. In your Facebook groups, your personal profile, you're going to want to post 1 to 3 times per day. And this is from the video. And Instagram will be 1 to 5 times per day, including stories. This is all content that's going to be created from this one video. So the first step, so that's what you're going to be posting. The first step to, there's going to be 8 steps to creating this content and posting it. The first one is to create a 3 to 5 minute live Facebook Live video. So once a week, you're going to want to do this at minimum. Do your live video inside any prospect or customer groups you manage. And you can do one from your personal profile, but it's always great to create something unique for one of your groups. So if you have a group where you know people want to know information, you can do it in there. Make sure you shoot the video in landscape mode. Guys, for Facebook, it's sideways. It has to be sideways and in landscape mode because it's easier to repurpose. If you really want to be serious, let's say, you know, and you know, Angie, I know that you've talked about really wanting to use your social media to share and grow and do things. Well, you know, maybe the idea of getting more serious about live videos once or twice or 3 times a week, you know, Amanda and Danielle, this is the same for you, you know, getting serious about setting up a little studio area. This is something I'm going to be doing soon. I'm going to set up a little studio area. And I do have, you're laughing, I do have a little microphone. I've got my Diva Light. And create content that looks more professional, that people are going to be able to connect with. They're going to be so busy listening to what you have to share, they're not going to be worried about whether your lighting's right or whether you're shaking or whether it's right in your face, you know. So you want to make sure you have good lighting and that you've got your tripod set up to where it's like not right here, but, you know, it's a good distance. And you're going to want to create curiosity in your written post copy. So you want to use emojis and make sure to include your whatever question you're going to ask in the video. You're going to want to make sure you include that in the top part as well, so that you can, again, you know, have you ever struggled with negativity? I'm going to give you 5 things to help you. Again, the question, and then I'm going to give you 5 things to help you. Blah, blah, blah. Have you ever struggled with keeping your life organized? I'm going to give you 5 tips to organize your day using a happy planner. You know, whatever it is that you connect with, ask the question and then tell them what you're going to tell them. So again, this is where, guys, he's absolutely right here. Captions increase the amount of views up to 30%. So depending on, again, what you want to invest in your business and what you want to do, I love this. And I personally am going to start utilizing it because I know that when I'm scrolling Facebook and I see captions, I stop. And I don't click on it a lot of times because I don't want to open it up and listen, but I'll sit there and I'll watch. So I don't know if it even, you know what I mean? So you download the video from a desktop or laptop and save it, or you save it to your phone. Then you go to rev.com, get the transcript and caption files from the video. So basically you can upload it. It costs $1 a minute. So if it's a 3-minute video, it's $3. And they will give you the full captions. And then you can actually, and you get the Facebook version, you can upload it to your Facebook video. And it'll automatically put that over, like you go into the actual album that has the videos, and then you go click on the actual video, you hit edit, and it shows exactly where to upload the captions file. So you just upload the captions file and it automatically plays. And he says he's tried the Facebook version and the YouTube version, and they're just not as good. They're not accurate. So if you want to try something free, you can try the Facebook and YouTube version. But if you're looking at doing real content marketing down the line, then this is something that you're going to want to use. Oh, it's 9:33. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll step in. I didn't realize how late it was. Okay. We're almost done, I promise. So then you create a Google Drive or Dropbox to upload the videos, and you're going to organize them in there. I know. We're just going to go over this real fast because I don't think you're going to use this anytime soon, and you can message me if you need. And then you're going to create, so step 4 is to create 5 to 7. I told you this was a master class. I was not kidding. 5 to 7 written posts. So basically, when you get the transcription from rev.com, they actually give you a full transcription of your video as well as the captions. So you can copy and paste or paste snippets of your transcription into a Google document, and you can grab content for posts. And then you just want to make sure you edit it from a spoken form to a written form. And you can just grab stuff, throw it on your phone. You want to throw emojis in it. Again, you want to put emojis in it. And then grab a picture of yourself. Just like doing it quotes for Instagram as well. But you can just grab a picture of yourself, a lifestyle photo. Have your kids, take a bunch of photos of you or your husband or whatever. Lifestyle photos. He says it doesn't even have to it doesn't have to make sense with the post. You just grab a picture and you throw it up there with that content that you've already worked hard to do, and there you go. You have a post, and it has to do with your pillars or your storylines. So just make sure you set posts like that to public. Sorry guys, I'm moving faster here. You can create quotes and images for Instagram. Again, using the exact same type of concept. One of the things he says he uses Twitter for Instagram. If you see people with their little circle and their circle profile and their Instagram, and it shows a quote, what he does is he actually goes to Twitter, he writes a post. He says the only time he ever uses Twitter is he tweets something, and then he screenshots it, and then he edits it for Instagram, so makes it a square. And then he posts that on Instagram. He says you can do the same thing by doing a picture with a real quick small tweet, and you can do the exact same thing and get a picture square. And it's really cool. So, and just grab a screenshot again after tweeting. So it's the only thing he actually uses it for. So again, I'm just going to skip over some of this stuff. You can basically.
I think you need to do a class that starts at step 4 and is detailed. Because this is a lot of content.
It's a lot of content. Yeah.
And it's a lot to take in and try to ask questions about. I mean, it's really good, but it's a lot to try to take notes and then ask questions about to try to process doing all of it.
Yeah.
Even just doing a 30-minute team call or an hour-long team call on how to take your live video and turn it into 5 to 7 posts. That would be a huge call, because learning how to do that seems overwhelming to try to figure that all out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just realizing now that these papers have numbers on the bottom of them, so I could have known where I was at. Yeah. So yeah, how to turn a post into, yeah.
I mean, that just seems like a lot of information, just doing that and taking that one video of something that's one of your 3 things and turning it into posts.
Well, and the thing is the whole purpose of this too, and the reason why you want to put this in folders on your Google Drive, and you want it, so if you're, basically the whole point is you make the video, you download the video, you get the caption done, and it's not just captions, but they actually transcribe everything. And then you put all of that into, say the video is 5 ways to look skinnier after whatever, I don't know, magazine, whatever. 5 whatever, tips to whatever. And then you have a Google Drive folder that says videos. And within that, you have a Google Drive folder that says 5 tips to blah, blah, blah. And then in that folder, you have the captions, you have the video, and any other pictures or content that you come up with. So the point being, in another 6 months, you need content, you go grab and you repurpose. Because most people are not going to remember it. Does that make sense?
So do you then repurpose the whole video or just the captions and the posts from the video?
I would think it's you can repurpose the live video in the sense of using the exact same notes that you made, because your notes would be in there, to make a new live video, and then just reusing the same captions and everything else. Yeah.
Okay.
So it helps make it to where we're actually able to plan our social media out and be very intentional with what we post, and then to reuse it down the line.
So I don't know if you said this, but how much information, education, fun stuff, and how much, because the live video stuff seems pretty educational.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're doing that as 3 to 5 posts, that's kind of a third of your week of work. So then
you can educate and inspire and be funny from one video. You can tell a story in there. You know what I mean? You could tell a funny story within your video, or an inspiring story. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you can grab stuff from all 3, but I think also it's not your only thing you're going to post. You know, it's going to give you a chunk of good things to post. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I mean, like there are times where I go on to post something and I think, oh, I just posted about how hard my day was, and I don't want to post about how hard my day is again, but I'm really having a hard day. Like, I feel like I'm reusing the same stuff, but it's like I'm going through the same things over and over again, and I have to try to figure out like a new way to talk about it, or a new something, because I don't want to be posting the same content, even though this is what happens in my life.
Yeah, but I think that that's when you look at your content circles, and maybe if you're having a lot of hard days in a row, you just choose a different content circle. I think that we have to remember what Tracy Morrow said when she said, you know, sometimes if we're going through a really hard time, we want to share something, but then we don't want to look like a hot mess.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he said, or you said, post 2 times as much of your failures as you do your successes.
Yeah, but
and so I hear that. I hear all the different things, and it's just trying to figure out how to tease out what the best stuff is to post, and how much I can reuse some of the same kinds of things that I have going on without feeling like I'm using the same. Like, that's what that live video captioning thing seems like. Like, you using one thing and using it over and over and over again for a week seems like a lot.
Yeah, except for you might find out when you do a live video, you have a lot more content in there with a lot of variations than what you might originally think. But I will say, when it comes to sharing your struggles and sharing, you know, there's ways you can be funny, you can be inspiring. There's ways to share stuff you're going through without it always being heavy and hard. You know what I mean? Like, you can share a failure. Like, for me, like my big blog starting out was Confessions of a Diet Breaker. I mean, my kids still laugh at me when I'm like, I'm going to eat healthy tonight. The kids like, you want Cheeto? Yep. I mean, it's like 2 seconds, you know, it's funny that they think it's funny, but that's the failure. You know what I mean? It's not always like, oh, I'm a failure because I yelled at my kids. It can be, yep, I enjoyed my beer tonight, you know, but I'm going to get up tomorrow. It can be sharing failures in light of, you know, in a positive light as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyone
So
else?
can we continue? Can we do the rest of the team call next week? The rest of this one?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll restart from the Facebook, and go from there, from the Facebook, downloading the video and go from there. But, and that's, and maybe you actually,
that's like halfway. That's halfway. So
yeah, but yeah. So I think if you have any questions in the meantime, let me know. It's a lot to digest, but if you want to go back through and watch the recording and write the most important notes that you can kind of have next to you, you can do that as well. Or I can send you, maybe I'll put the slideshow up and then you can print that out if you want.
This was great, Michelle. Thanks.
You're welcome. Please reach out, ask any questions. Oh yeah, Angie's getting the picture for us. Hi.
Oh, hold on. Let me
Wait, do it again. Danielle's here now.
Okay, smile. Okay, I took 3. Hopefully we're all smiling in one of them.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to the call, guys.
After you took the picture, I had to look down and make sure my boob was covered.
I'll edit it out if you slip something in there. I'll edit it.
Feeding week, man. Whip it out.
Terrible.
Oh, it's still recording. I'm so sorry.
Oh
no. Oh well.
Okay.
This is what I do all day.